Toku Secrets is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Oh, yes! This is Goldar, and you're listening to Toku Secrets Podcast. Don't tune us out, tune us in!
Welcome to Toku Secrets. Join us as we journey into the marvelous world of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Power Rangers, and many other Tokusatsu. Get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. It's Morphin' Time! Link to the Morphin' Course. I'm Nathan Desai, the dazzling adventurer, Spoken Silver.
I'm Patrick Allen, I'm Shinken Red.
And I'm Rizwan Merchant, Gokai Red.
And I'm Anthony Davis, also known as Curie Green. And we're Toku Secrets.
What is going on, Toku Ranger Nation? This is Rizwan and Nathan from Toku Secrets Podcast, and we're bringing y'all a special Toku Secrets episode to talk about our experiences at Rangerstop Orlando. But we're not here alone. We got our really good friend Dan Brosnan on. Dan was at Orlando with us 2 weeks ago, and we just clicked right away, and we figured, you know what, screw it. Let's bring Dan on as well to hang out and talk about Rangerstop Orlando. So Dan, why don't we let you have a few minutes to kind of talk about who you are, your channel, and everything to do with the amazing world of Dan.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is Dan Brosnan. All the homies call me Bros, and I run the fan club. We started as a channel that kind of covered a little bit of everything, and then as time kind of went, seemed like all of my Power Ranger content early on, like 5-6 years ago, that really started to make a dent. And I would do like 1,000 to 2,000 views every Power Ranger video, but anytime I talked about anything else, it was like under 100. So I was like, okay, I know Power Rangers, I'm passionate about it, I'm going to keep talking about it. And then over the years, we built a platform, combined like all of our followers, it's like over 130, 140,000, and it's growing. It's pretty much an entertainment company at this point, for how much we're clipping up videos and pushing content out, and pretty much every day we're pushing something out. About 5 years ago, I quit my day job to kind of take this and then my other full-time gig, my DJ business, full-time. We're like, for a while I was working a job and doing these things on the side, but it wasn't until I actually like 100% jumped into this that it started to really grow. And now we're doing this like every single day. I'm entertaining at some point, either DJing or like actually making videos for you guys. So it's a lot of fun. I've got to live out some of my like childhood dreams through this. You get to meet a lot of cool people, and some people are famous and celebrities, and some people are just really cool, like guys yourselves, like people you meet through networking and linking up and just giving it a go and just saying hi and being nice to people. I think that's kind of been half of it, just bringing positive energy and trying to, see what I can add to the equation and just bringing that workhorse mentality. I think that's kind of our thing. Is I'm not the best at pretty much anything when it comes to this stuff, but I'm willing to put the work in until I'm adequate enough to put something good out. So that's us. We're the fan club. You can follow us on pretty much every platform called the fan club or the fan club 563. We have a lot of fun talking about Power Rangers, superheroes, and more. And I met these two great guys a few weekends ago over in Orlando, and it was a great time.
Absolutely. And I got to say, it was such a fun time hanging out with you, Dan, over the weekend. You put out your ad, or like not really an ad, like a post on the Rangerstop Con Facebook group saying like, hey, I'm coming to the con. I want to hang out with people. And me being me, I didn't even know you were like the fan club. I didn't know who you were. I was like, you know what? This guy's giving off good vibes on the group post. I'm going to message him. We're going to become friends. We're going to hang out. It wasn't until I actually sat down and talked to you at the con where I was like, oh, okay, I know who you are now. So I
Because
was
I'm
just,
not out here. That's one thing that I think sometimes I don't use it to my advantage at all. But like I just kind of like normalize the fan club, and I don't really think it's anything big to me because I live it every day, right? So when
yeah,
you're just constantly doing this, it's nothing that special to me. And it's special, but like I don't go around saying I got all these. It's only when like we're talking about like, yo, tell me about your thing. Yeah, I'll tell you about it, but like I'm
yeah.
not out here being like, yo, look at me, I got followers. It's one of those where but every once in a while to get interviews, it is nice. You gotta use it sometimes. I'm learning. You gotta walk that line, man.
Oh yeah, and I mean, just hanging out with you, walking around the con and all that good stuff. I mean, I saw the people stop in their tracks like, I know that guy. I see his face on my YouTube screen all the time. So it was just a really fun experience watching that all kind of unfold over the weekend. And I just want to say, despite like how big your platform is, you're still a really humble and down to earth guy, and that's what I think is your biggest strength, in my opinion, is that you're doing
Dude,
this.
thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Um, so I guess to kind of start off, so our audience knows kind of Nate and I's con history with the Power Ranger community. Like we've both been to Rangerstop Atlanta. I've been there, what, 3 years in a row now. Nate's been going there for about five, I think.
Yeah,
But Dan,
more or less.
what been what has been your experience with Comic Cons or anime cons or just conventions in general up until now? Like, what has your background been like for this?
Oh man, so my background is like a bunch of big cons in the Midwest and then a bunch of medium cons. So like around here, I live in Iowa, but I live like 3 hours from Chicago, like 2.5 from Milwaukee, hour and a half from Madison, Wisconsin. So like I'm by some bigger cities, right? And I've been pressed for Fan Expo Chicago like 3 times. I've been pressed for C2E2 like 5 times. Those get anywhere from 100,000 to 500,000 people come there throughout the weekend. Like those are mega huge, about as big as you can get for like Chicago, Midwest. I've also done press for Twin Cities Con in Minneapolis multiple times, done press for Des Moines Con. That's probably the biggest con in Iowa we've got is Des Moines, and that's pretty much ran by the same people. Done cons for multiple ones in Madison too. So pretty much any con out here. Um, I'll go to it, and a lot of them I'll just go like for the whole weekend if it's big enough, like your C2E2s, your Fan Expo, Chicago's. I'll definitely go over the weekend, but then some of them, like the medium sized ones, I'll just hit on a Sunday. So I'll still DJ a wedding, and then I'll just wake up early the next day and go just for that one day and get what I need
Mhm.
from the con and stuff like that. But we definitely love hitting cons. I think this was the first year where I didn't do over like 5, 6 major cons because I was saving for Orlando. Or Orlando itself, just plane ticket and hotel, and like I went by myself. I was supposed to go with my family, so that was even going to cost way more money. Thank God we actually got a refund on our tickets, which was bomb. So I didn't eat that money. I got that back. So like hell yeah. But like yeah, like going by yourself and paying for it, it was a nice little price here. So like doing all that, it's I couldn't afford to go to like 5, 6 cons and then go to Orlando. I kind of had to be choosy about it. So I was like, I'm in 2025, I'm just gonna go to Orlando, and that's gonna be my big moment to get video of everything. That's why like I was working until the con was pretty much done. And then once it was done, I was hanging out and having fun. But honestly, like I got so much content. I filled up 428 gig SD cards, and I still had video on my phone. Like that's how much it freaking was. Like it was unreal. And I ended up just cutting all of my videos. So including the documentary, all the full videos and all the shorts, I have 285 videos I ended up with.
That
Wow.
is insane.
Yeah, so we're just I find that's where I've been this whole time. Like this whole week and whatever, I've just been clipping, and it takes so freaking long to take these hour videos and just clip.
Oh
And
yeah.
some of these have so many good clips. So I did the
Yeah.
research. If I post 2 a day, I've got like 4.5 months worth of content if I post 2 videos a day.
That's really awesome, and I applaud you for being able to do that because we kind of just go put the panel videos out, and then we're like, okay, we might clip a couple things here and there as time allows. But it's good that you have the ability to go really clip in and hone in on the smaller pieces that maybe don't get the attention that you're able to give it because you have the time for it. So that's really awesome to be able to do that.
I got time, baby. And then that's half the problem is having the time. And so like I'll just wake up and be like, what can I do today? And now that like I worked my butt off, I'm gonna be able to not like work a tad less on that and put it into something else right now because I have all of this stuff in the pipeline for once, like an entertainment company. Like it's
Yeah.
finally starting to crack a little bit. And I'm already thinking about going to that ranger station or whatever in Philly just because I saw there's going to be over 10 rangers there and it's just one day. And I don't know if I'm going for sure, but I was looking at it and I was like, dude, for one day, I could go get some more content. If I could restock, because around March is when I'm going to start running out of content. So it's just,
And you know that I was actually considering myself going to that one in Philly. I was talking to Nate about it a couple of days ago. Like I might see if I can swing a little 1 day trip out there and hang out and then cut out and come back home, you know?
yeah,
So
get some
Yeah, I think
content.
about that too. The problem is, I think that's the same day that Toylanta is happening, and
oh yeah.
I might want to. I'm thinking about going there just because Brett also owns that con, and I'm kind of wanting to,
Yeah.
give a little bit of support to him as well for that. So,
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. But
Yeah, I have to check it out.
we're
I was just looking into it.
yeah.
yeah,
But we're here today for the Orlando Con.
yeah,
So I guess I'll start off real quick with my quick impressions of Orlando versus Atlanta, given I've kind of seen both, and I think my biggest takeaway looking at Rangerstop Atlanta and Orlando is, dear God, that hotel. The Orlando hotel is insane. I've never seen a hotel like that before. It's not really a hotel, it's like a freaking resort. Just the way everything's laid out across, like, I don't know, it has to be like a couple of acres of land. And they got the main tower where I was staying, and then you got the convention center right next door to the tower. But then on the other side of the campus, like I think Dan, you were on that side. They had
Yeah,
like all these cabins and like bungalows and stuff. I'm like, bro,
dude,
what is this
it was
place?
like so they were nice rooms, but it had that like Motel 6 vibe to it, but then
yeah,
you go into the room and the room actually had all the amenities and had everything I needed in it, but I actually liked being right next to like the bar and stuff. Like I was right next to the front desk. So like
Yeah,
I know half the time I was just kind of like slanging drinks outside there and hanging out like while everyone was paying for these $15 beers and stuff. So like I there it did have an advantage, but I don't know. It like you're right. It was like they at one point had the tower and then they bought the 3 hotels next door and now it's just like its own giant super center of hotels.
yeah. So I mean, this place has it's basically a small town within
Probably
Orlando
like
for us to hang
2,000
out.
rooms.
Yeah. So for me, it was nice because we had the restaurants, we even had like a little grocery store in the place. Um, so it's literally your one-stop stop, and then right outside the hotel area, you got like Cheddar's, you got other restaurants, you got everything right there.
Yeah.
So that was a really nice touch that we didn't really get with Atlanta. Like we had some good restaurants in Atlanta. And the hotel, I liked the hotel Atlanta a lot too. but Orlando's hotel just blew me away, and that's not even talking about the con itself. Like
Yeah, I
um,
agree. I walked across the street and got food like 8, 9 different times. There was a liquor store. Like there was everything you need in a few days just to party in Florida. There was a gift shop, there was a sports bar, there was a pizza place, an Italian place, a Subway, like everything was across the street and it was nice, man. I'm not gonna lie, like you said, a lot of hotels, you're lucky if you just get a restaurant in there. So
yeah,
the first hotel we're staying at here has everything built in, but then you can go across the street for more. So I absolutely loved it. It was a nice touch.
yeah, definitely. Um, what do you think, Nate? Like, I know you've been more quiet on this, but what do you have any thoughts on hotel and
Yeah,
amenities of
that
what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't stay at that hotel because my wife and I were staying at a cheaper hotel, but it was. I do remember when Justin from Zenith Films was taking me back to his room just to hang out with some of his friends and also to see one of the Beast Hunters t-shirts, and it took us like 5 minutes to walk from the main lobby to his room and walking through like that courtyard thing. It's like you know, like it kind of reminded me of this one hotel that my family and I stayed at when we went to Hilton Head to go to the beach. And I'm just thinking, like, am I at one of these beach resorts? Like, that's not possible because I'm in the middle of Orlando. Still, that's what it certainly
Um,
felt like.
yeah.
I know
Um,
exactly what you're talking about. When for Fan Expo, it's C2E2 or Fan Expo, one of those where like we stayed in a hotel that was connected, but like it was like a half a mile in connectivity, like to get there. It was crazy. Like it was like I felt like I to go walk there and back was a full mile. So I totally know what you're talking about. Like it was spanned out, but that just means there's a lot going on around it. And when it comes to amenities, it is cool. But when it comes to like you're tired, bro, like we're putting in some steps today. So I definitely
Yeah.
oh
like
yeah.
that is a con, if you will. But when you go to a con, you're gonna do some walking no matter what. We're definitely losing some water weight this weekend. We're gonna be moving around, baby.
Oh,
Quite a
bro,
bit.
you gotta, yeah. So let's kind of get more into the con itself. So I'll start off with asking the question to both of y'all, and you can chime in whoever wants to go first. Of all the things you saw at Rangerstop Orlando, what was the thing that you enjoyed the most about the con itself? Not talking about the after parties and hanging out in the evening and all that, but like just what the con planned and scheduled for y'all to do.
So I liked as a VIP. So I did something different. Usually when I go to cons, I just ride the press. But I thought like if I'm going down here and spending all this money coming from Iowa, I might as well like save up and get the VIP so I could get like the breakfast and the dinner and stuff like that. So I thought as a
Hmm,
VIP member there was bang for your buck here. Like
yeah.
you walk in, you get a t-shirt, you get a special lanyard, you get a bag that had an autograph. I got a Rancic autograph, and then I got a toy. Like I got a Pink Ranger Lightning collection figure. Thought that was pretty cool. You got like this special bag that had like all like pretty much every single guest that was there that weekend was on the bag. That was a cool touch. Like there was like 5, 6, 7 things that they gave you just before you walked in, and then you get into the con 30 minutes early than everybody else. You get into the front rows of the panels more than everyone else, and it didn't really matter until it mattered, Rizwan. You know what I'm saying? Like that's hilarious how that works, man. Like for real,
Oh
you're
yeah.
just like, oh yeah, we're gonna get away with this the whole time. And then the one time he looked, I'm like, I got it, bro. And he smiled like you're the only one with press that actually did that. And then like, so all the little things to move around as press made my life a little easier. And then I got to eat with the celebrities. So like
Yeah.
when you, I think that cost $450, but I felt like that was a good bang for my buck. And I don't believe in usually doing those VIP things, because when I go to a con, let's say like I think I got a VIP a few years ago at like C2E2 in 2020, and it was like with Stefan Amell from Green Arrow. That was like
Oh,
I
dude,
got
yeah.
like I got to meet him and get a photo op with him, and then got into the con and like a couple other things, but that alone was like $400. So
Yeah.
like you got to sit down, like you walk in, you get an autograph right away, you get toys, you get a shirt, and then you get dinner. So I thought it was like a good bang for your buck. I really did
Oh, yeah.
enjoy that. I thought that, like, I didn't know how big this con was going to be. I didn't even know like how big in attendance or how big in size itself it was going to be, but I I was happy with it. Like I know it wasn't nothing overwhelming, but it wasn't like it was dead either. Even when the con opened on Friday, there was a nice amount of people there. I had it on video because I've been to cons where sometimes like the Friday's the dead day. Friday's
Yeah.
just the get settled day. And I felt like there was a good crew there. I thought the energy was good. I didn't see like anyone really fighting or nothing. Like it was just a good vibe that weekend. And I really did appreciate that. Maybe it's because everyone was in Florida, and it was like it's Power Ranger weekend pretty much, but it was
Yeah.
a good time. And dude, I couldn't believe how much crap was going on at this hotel at the same time. There was like weddings and military balls, and bro, like it
Yeah, the
was unreal.
Marine Corps ball.
Bro, that was a hilarious moment when I'm trying to figure out where is the dang cosplay contest going to be? Because I thought for the longest time on Saturday, okay, we'll just chill. We'll have panel, pause, cosplay contest, then pack it up and go have fun doing other stuff. But then when I got to the end, I was like, hold up. We're not doing the cosplay contest in here. Where are we doing it?
You're
Yeah.
doing
So
it
then I went,
outside next to the Marines.
so I go outside and I see cosplayers on one side of the field, and I see all these Marines on the other side. I'm like, okay, hold up. Did the Ranger community get recruited into a special branch of the United States Army or something? Are we like officially U.S. Rangers now? Because I mean, it was something else. And I mean, that Saturday night, I mean, the number of people just flooding the hotel from the Marines Corps, the Ranger convention, and then the wedding that was going on at the same time.
And
And
then you
like,
had the Warp Tour happening that night. MGK performed that Saturday.
true,
So
true,
there was
yeah.
so many people that were there that weekend.
Yeah, so that was insane. Um, yeah, for me, like, so I think this is like your first. You said your first full on Ranger Con, but we've been to a couple of these so far. But for me, I think the thing that always draws me to the Power Ranger Con isn't like, okay, so I love the panels. I'm a panel addict at this point. I just love sitting there and listening to the Rangers talk. I think that's just the coolest thing in the world, especially when you get like the Disney era mixed in with the Saban era, mixed in with the Hasbro, and they're all just like interacting. To me, that's just a really cool multiverse type thing. But that's not the main reason I love Rangerstop Atlanta, Rangerstop Orlando, and like the Kaiji Matsuri type thing. It's because the people are genuinely really good people that I interact with. Like I got into the hotel Friday night, no, Thursday night, sorry. Thursday night I got there. And dude, I barely walked in the door. I was barely in line to check in. And I'm already getting hugged left, right, and center from people I've seen in Atlanta, people I've met online. And it was just like a nonstop family reunion. So, like, I think at one point, one of the panelists, I forget which ranger it was now, maybe Karen, they said, you guys might think this is a reunion for you as the fans, but it's also a reunion for us as the ranger actors because we're all so tight. Like, and not just within their cast. they're tight among the generations. Like they'll all go out and hang out and party and talk and do all that stuff. Like I think on the Thursday night prior, I know Steve Cardenas and some of the VR troopers and some other people had gone out to karaoke together.
Oh
So,
yeah.
that's like a testament to me that the Ranger cons in general are more about a family reunion than it is about just the fans getting together to celebrate something. These actors and these stunt people and these prop makers, these guys are also getting together and having their own reunion. I mean, if you think about it, we got 30 years of people, 30 years of seasons of just stories and lore. And also, you got to think about, like, maybe another, I'll be generous, 15 years of people going to cons as celebrities and doing this for like Comic Con and for Rangerstop and anime cons or whatever. So they've been meeting up for like 10, 15 years on and off. So they have their own bond outside of us. But it's hard to get them together because a lot of these cons, like the anime cons, are not going to say, "Oh, well, we want like 10 Rangers." They're going to say, we'll get like Kat Sutherland, we'll get Nakia, and that's it for the Rangers. We need our anime guests as well." But here you got like almost the entire Mighty Morphin cast. You got a lot of Cosmic Fury. You got a lot of different like people in one spot. So it's really a family reunion on different levels, and I think that is the biggest reason I love this BrandaCon a lot more. And I've been doing this for like 20 something years with anime cons, comic cons, and there's that same like reunion feeling with the anime voice actors and some of the celebrity guests, like with the bigger TV shows. But it's always that limited thing of like, oh, if you work together on like your season of whatever anime, or like if you're in the industry, you kind of know each other. But here, the bond is more, you're a ranger, I'm a ranger, I don't care about anything else, let's bond and hang out type thing. So to me,
Yeah.
that's really beautiful.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. When you go to like the bigger cons that are just universal, have like everybody there,
Yeah,
it's still just as fun. The after parties, everything, but like when it's all catered towards one brand, Power Rangers, especially, like that's what we both talk about. There's something special there. So like not even on the creator side of it, we get all this awesome content that's catered to our audience. But then because we talk about it and we grew up with it, it's like an also special time for us. Like, and like you said, the actors, they're reuniting, and like in the panels, they're kind of giving us more juice and more content than if it was just them by themselves. Like, and I
yeah,
know because I do a bunch of cons where they'll bring like 3, 4 members so they can have a Power Ranger panel. And that always adds a little bit more than if there was just one. Now, like you say, you put a bunch of them up there. Like I felt like some of the clips and content we were getting was just so good. And then as a
yeah.
fan, just to be hearing all this cool stuff was awesome. To your point, it's just you put everybody together and you just get more out of it.
Yeah. And so for me, that's just the best part of the Ranger Con for me is just the family aspect of it. Um, so that's my take. Nate, if you want to, what do you think? What's your favorite part? Besides your drug dealer.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for the people who don't get that inside joke, like you can see this backpack hanging behind me in the back. That's my combat pack, and every time I go, I have to get pins from the dealer and CV to keep decorating it. So yeah, he's effectively my drug dealer. CV, if you're listening to this, that's what I call you, but we're still cool. I'm not actually trying to like badmouth you or anything like that. Um,
No,
but
it's
yeah,
just funny because Nate will go to this guy and get like 2, 3 pins. Then
yeah,
he'll go get his autographs, and then he'll say, "Hey Riz, I have a couple more dollars left. I'm gonna go back and get some more pins." I'm like,
exactly. Yep, that's exactly
"Do
what I
you?
do.
Do you?"
Oh,
Yeah. But yeah, I would probably say that like so of like the three big Ranger cons that I've been to, because I did go to Power Morphicon 2 times in 2016 and 2018. And then And then, of course, I go to Orlando all the time. This is my first time going to Orlando, and I feel like this one was. I feel like this one had a bit more. You can definitely tell that this one has been around a bit longer than the Atlanta one. I feel like everything was, very well organized with the layout and everything. But Riz and you and I were talking about, how some of the panels seem to be confusing, where like we would have like a bunch of Rangers that made sense, but then like maybe one or two actors that might not have fit in that well. Like I feel like the panels and
Oh,
I feel like the panels in this one were far more ironed out. Like, here's all the pink Rangers. I mean, of course, they added purple and white in that case with Jessica Ray and Claire. I can't remember Claire's last name off the top of my head, but was
Black
it Black?
Welder.
Yeah, Black Welder. I mean, that's
Yeah.
fine, but I mean that's fine because white. I mean, there's a lot of seasons where you have pink, white instead of pink Rangers, and then and I mean purple. You might as well just add. They had all the yellow Rangers, all the yellow, red Rangers, and blue ones that were there. They had all Sentai one. I feel like these ones were a lot more like well ironed out as opposed to like this one time in Atlanta where they had like Dwayne Cameron who played Tyzon, Dan Southworth who played Eric, and then Hector who played Mike and Samurai. And people were asking Dwayne and Dan this question about like them being sixth Rangers, like how did it feel to come into the cast later on? And I'm just thinking in my head like, okay, this is awkward for Hector because it makes sense for Dwayne and Dan, but then you have Victor in the middle, and he can't answer that because he was there at the beginning. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the other example that I always go back to when you mention that kind of thing, Nate, was just this past summer. They had a panel which was Power Rangers in Space, Lost Galaxy, and actually, you know what? I'm gonna let Dan guess. What was the third season that they included in that?
In Space Lost Galaxy and what like would maybe the next season Lightspeed Rescue? I don't
No,
know.
no, no.
oh
It was
wow,
no, it was SPD.
yeah, because that makes sense,
So,
doesn't it?
so they had Selwyn, they had Rod, they had the entire In Space cast. Plus, they had Maya, Serena Vincent's her name, from the Lost Galaxy crew. So they had the two of those seasons together, and that made sense because they had the crossover. So Serena knew the In Space cast, and they had like that rapport going. But then there's poor Brandon at the end of the table, just kind of sitting there like, dude, I have nothing to contribute to these stories because I have no idea about anything before my season, and
Yeah.
these guys are a good like 4 or 5 seasons before me. So
I mean,
it
honestly,
was
it would
just
have made a lot more sense to pair him up with to find a way to pair him up with the Mystic Force cast, just because their seasons were back to back, so you could kind of have
Yeah.
him in on that.
Something.
And not only that, but
yeah.
isn't there some kind of novelty to see Brandon J. McLaurin right next to Fariz, however you pronounce his last name? Because we never got to see a Mystic Force and SPD team up. So if you saw Nick's
Exactly.
actor and Jack's actor right next to each other, that would actually be pretty cool just from a novelty standpoint.
Yeah, no,
That would be
definitely.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. So no, I agree with you that the panels are much better organized and more thematically thought out at Orlando than Atlanta. Um, I also, on one hand, I kind of wish we had some of the game show things that they did because there were some good games that they did at Atlanta that we don't get at Orlando.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so Dan, just for your benefit, Atlanta sometimes will have this guy named Devira Kui, um, who will come up and run like a game show with the Rangers up there. So like, uh, press your luck and insert other game shows here that I'm not. Oh, Jeopardy's another big one he does.
yeah.
So he'll like have the Rangers play that for like 10, 15 minutes, and then they'll go from that to the panel where they talk about stuff just to give the Rangers a break because you got to think they're doing these panels every so often at a con, and how many times can you answer the question of who would you be if you could be in another season type thing? Like that's a common question you get at all the cons. So giving them a break to have some fun and just cut loose, playing the matching game where they got to match the ranger to the season or whatever. That's a fun thing for them to do. So it was just it's a different atmosphere, I think, between Atlanta and Orlando in terms of like the panels.
Yeah, I thought everything was ran pretty well. I've been to a bunch of cons. Haven't been to a Power Rangers con like fully. This is my first time, like I've said, but I thought like just logistics wise, everything worked. The panels worked. I can't remember dude's name, but the guy that moderated all the panels, he did a good job.
Steve.
Lot of good questions. He
Eve.
kept
Yeah.
things rolling whenever there was something that could like start to unravel the show. He put it back together and kept it rolling. Like I appreciated everyone in the roles that they had this weekend. Like even getting out of the con, the security did a good job. It was nice because like you don't always think about or like talk about when they do a good job, but you talk about when a bad job is done. When something bad
Yeah.
happens, we're all talking about it throughout the weekend, and we didn't really have a lot of those stories.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a single thing that was like, ugh, why'd they do that? Why did
Hmm.
this happen? It was just a lot of good vibes, good memories, a lot of fun. So for me, it was just a really enjoyable time doing all that. Um, I think for me, the other thing that was really fun and special was seeing the Tokusatsu actors. Because I've built up a good rapport with some of the Japanese actors at this point. Like I've seen Satoru Izumi, who's the Dragon Ranger, equivalent to Tommy as the Green Ranger. Once before we had dinner, and so getting to see him again and talk to him, seeing Yui Koike, who was the Gokai Pink, and just being able to interact with them, I think that's a big highlight for me because I am a Sentai fan and I am I have a connection to some of these actors just from previously meeting them in the past and being able to interact with them again. It's always fun to see them. And likewise, same is true for some of the Rangers that I see over and over again, like your Cat, your Nakia. Like those are like to me staples at the cons that we go to now because there are a lot of the same like Ranger stops every year.
Yeah,
Yes, I
meeting the
So
agree.
Sentai actors was pretty great. Especially with meeting Yui Koik. That was probably one of my better Sentai interactions, just because I said something basic to her in Japanese, just kind of the basic stuff that I kind of have to learn when I'm talking with my in-laws, and when I see it in Japanese, like her eyes literally like widen with like shock. Wait, you speak Japanese? And I was able to have that type of conversation. Like, so that was obviously pretty cool. And then of course, meeting Toshide, his last name escapes me at the moment. The guy who played Guy, Black Condor from Jetman. I mean, meeting him was obviously great because he's my favorite Sentai Ranger ever, and I was able to talk to him a couple of times, and he gave me a little bit of a scent of his cologne on my arm. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
yeah, Yui. When I was taking my photo with her, she asked the translator to translate for me what she was saying, and she was telling the translator to tell me, I remember him from other cons, and he's one of our biggest supporters, and I really appreciate him coming out and seeing us again and again. And to me, that was just really special because that shows that in my own small way, I had an impact on her to remember me. And that was just really meaningful to me to be like, okay, this person that I watched on TV, we have no commonality in language. But even so, I was able to impress even a little bit into her that my face is memorable enough to go back and say, oh, yeah, I know this dude. And so for me, that was just a really big core memory unlock, especially given I love Gokaiser. Gokaiser is my favorite season, hands down. You all know this. I'm Gokai wrote on the damn podcast.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think those are really cool memories for me.
Yeah, and of course having Juri Ginga Pink, her first con, that was awesome.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Did you get a chance to go walk over there, Dan, and meet any of them?
No, dude. Every time I kind of walked by, they were busy, and I know there is a language barrier, so I wasn't trying to get any like interviews or nothing like that. But I did like wave and like say hi, but like I didn't necessarily know how that rolls, like, because I know a lot of the other tables you can just walk up and talk to them, but like, do they speak English?
I mean, they
Some of
have
them do
translators
actually.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could have a little bit of a conversation. See, that's what I was wondering. I didn't want to be like rude and waste their time or anything like that. So, okay, I should have done a little bit more research on them. I
Yeah.
was more thinking about Power Rangers actors going into this because I know my stuff. Like I'm not necessarily the Sentai guy. Like I lack information on that, so like it's not my strong suit. So I don't ever want to do something where I make myself look like a fool because I'm talking about things I don't know what I'm doing. So like, but at the same time, like you were saying, these guys came all the way here from Japan, and like some of them, it's their first con or like their first appearance in a while at least. So it would like it definitely like would make me happy to go over and at least like say hi and see if we could work or something, man, because that's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, getting here
And
from Japan is not going to be any easy task. And trust me, I'm about to find out just how uneasy of a task that is. So, um,
yeah, and like for me, the thing about them is, so I've had dinner with some of the Sentai cast twice now. Once in Houston, about a year ago to this date. I met Ryota Ozawa, Satoru Izumi, and Kurata Tetsuya. That's Gokai Red, Dragon Ranger, and Kamen Rider Black. So we had dinner together as part of like a VIP thing that I did with them. And then this past September, I had another VIP dinner with some of the same people plus some new ones. And I gotta tell you, like, if you ever get a chance, even if you've never really seen a lot of Sentai, if you get the VIP experience with Toku Spirits and you go and you meet them and you talk to them and you share a meal with them, you'll learn just how compassionate and empathetic these actors are. It's a different world with them. Like, they're so intrigued by our fandom because to them, they can't begin to fathom that these silly Americans halfway across the world have seen their Sentai season from, 30 years ago in some cases, or 15 years ago in other cases, and that they like it enough to come see them and talk to them and dress up as them and want to be like them. So
yeah.
to them, it's like a whole new world. Whereas like our Ranger actors, unless you're a new one like Sally Martin who's never been to a con before, you're used to kind of seeing the fandom. You're used to being able to interact with them and understanding them. But the Sentai actors, it's their first time really kind of starting to see how is stuff on this side. And I don't want to speak too much on the Japanese side of the experience because I've never been, so I've never seen it firsthand. But from what I've heard, the fandom over there is still sizable and very, compassionate for the actors, but maybe because of culture, they're not as outgoing about it. They're not as like in your face, as proud and expressive with it. And so that's something else that's new to them to kind of see.
And I think in general though, they're just naturally a bit more reserved because that's kind of just how it is in Japanese culture in general. I mean, like, there's a reason why, like, I mean, when it comes to like some of these Sentai actors, like they might act a little friendly toward the people who played their Power Rangers counterpart. Like I've seen UA Coit kind of be a little friendly with Christina Masterson. I do know that Jury, whatever, I can't remember her last name off the top of my head, but I do know that she and Valerie Vernon, who plays her Lost Galaxy counterpart, they follow each other. But like you're probably and same with Ryota Ozawa and Andrew Gray, but you're probably not going to have that many moments where like you see like Jason Font hanging out with Shiro Uzumi or like Blake Foster like hanging out with those Sentai actors. I feel like they just kind of tend to be a bit more reserved and kind of just stick with themselves. But when it comes to the fans, they're obviously pretty nice.
Right.
Well, it's not that they're not interested in meeting the other actors. It's just language barrier, and then if there's not that interest on both ends to really make the effort, you may not see Blake Foster go out and try and meet Satoru Izumi,
Yeah.
for example. Like it's just not there because Blake Foster's probably never seen Killer Sentai Zero Ranger.
Yeah. Well, it's just based off of something like, I was telling that to, I was talking about that with my wife, and like she said that, you know, a lot of like Japanese people tend to be like super reserved. Like we were talking about like some of these comedians that I've like learned about on some of these shows that we watch together, and then she's telling me like, yeah, like if we were able to like publicly meet some of these like comedians, they would probably be super reserved. There might be one or two that might like walk up and be like, "Oh, Amerikajin," that means American person in Japanese, but for the most part, they're pretty just in general just kind of reserved.
But circling back to something Dan said earlier, you may not know a lot of Sentai stuff now, but if I get my way, we're going to turn you into a Sentai aficionado. We're going to get you to watch some Sentai with us.
Hey,
That'd be awesome.
gotta get you, gotta get you cultured, man.
let's go.
I think honestly you would enjoy some of the seasons that are out there, and you would do well to like really see where some of the stuff that you're talking about from the American side fits in and why certain things happen. Because when I watch Sentai sometimes, I'm like, oh, this is why this episode had to play out the way it did. This is why, like for example, TJ had to go off on his own for half an episode because the Sentai had the Red Ranger doing something while the other four did something else. So just that insight back and forth, is really interesting when you're making your videos for the fan club to give that insight as well to be like, hey, I'm the guy that can tell you why this scene had to happen the way it did.
True. No, that's a good point, bro.
So I think it'd be a lot of fun to get you into Sentai and maybe get you on some of our podcasts just talking about what you think of it and then get you to, just be a part of it.
Yeah,
So
at the very
definitely,
least, Dan, you're gonna have to watch this podcast that's pretty much inevitable to come now because by the end of this year, and this is kind of bittersweet now with the show about to at the very least take a hiatus, but I'll be done watching like every single Sentai. So for our next big one, I don't know if it's 250th or if it's the 300th one, but yeah, that's when I'm gonna have all the guys there, and they're gonna watch me, and they're probably gonna like probably engage in a bunch of heckling as I try to tear up every single Sentai from the one way back in 1975 all the way to now. So
Wow.
he's seen almost every season minus like one or two at this point.
yeah,
Insane, bro.
Right? And he's not the only one. There's another guy at the con that we met.
yep,
He also has seen every Sentai.
Wow.
So there's a couple of people out there, and they're a rare breed, in my opinion.
That's dope.
Yeah. So, kind of moving into other parts of the con. So I know this is your first Ranger Con, and I know this might have been the first time you met a lot of these actors that were there. Were there any actors that you were looking forward to meeting because maybe they're your favorite Ranger, or just the one you're like, oh man, I have to meet this person and at least shake their hand at the very least? And that question
So
goes to both of y'all.
yeah, for sure. I've talked to Campbell Cooley multiple times a month for like 4 years now. Like I've known Campbell for a very long time. We have phone calls, but for some reason or another, every time I tried to go to a con he was at, it just never worked. And I finally got to meet him. That was my first interview of the weekend, was with Campbell Cooley. It was awesome to meet him. And then I didn't pay for a lot of autographs. I was more about getting interviews and doing panels and stuff. But the Rangers I did meet, I got like a trio combo with Hunter Deno, Jordan Fight, and Russell Curry. So I got like the Dino Fury, Cosmic Fury trio, and those guys were awesome.
Yep.
Ion made my weekend. Like, he was a fan of the channel. Like, it was absolutely insane because we were waiting for him, and once we took the photo, I still had to pay him, and I started talking to him, and he like gave me this look. He's like, "Bro, who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm Dan from the fan club." And he busts out his phone and like, "Bro, I'm subscribed to you. I've been for a long time." So it was dope. Like, I felt like everything was going full circle this weekend. It was awesome to kind of meet the Dino Fury cast because they're the ones that helped me get my big break. Like I was already like, I feel like it was Beast Morphers when I started to kind of get an uptick in Power Rangers content. But then it was the Dino Fury reviews that helped me get like millions of views out of those reviews. So that's one that, like, it was partially because of them. They didn't even know it at the time, but like, I had to go meet them and just thank them for doing a good job with that series.
Yeah. No, and I love all my interactions with those three. I've met Hunter a handful of times. Russell, I've met a couple, and I will tell you, anytime I see Russell in the hallway or at a panel or anything, and I get my chance, I will yell out to him, "Cool, cool, coolio," just to because he loves it. He loves when people tell him that because he knows other fans hate it, and he loves just laughing at the hate that he gets from it because to him it's just a really funny thing. And I don't know if that's the exact reason why he loves it, but I know he definitely does like the hand motion back anytime anyone tells him "cool, cool, coolio."
Yeah.
So he enjoys it.
It-
Hunter, in my opinion, is an absolute sweetheart. I've met her like three, maybe four times now, and she is so sweet and, in my opinion, down to earth. And Jordan and I, so we've shared a plane a couple of times back and forth from Atlanta. So it's always cool, like seeing him at the airport after and just kind of talking to him a little bit without the con and all that stuff going on. So definitely, I love the Dino Cosmic Fury cast quite a bit. And the panel that they did at Atlanta Suit, I think that was 2 years ago. That was one of the best fan panel, like as a fan, seeing that panel, in my opinion, because the amount of pure love between the cast that came out in that panel was amazing. Like they were
Yeah.
so genuine with each other. There's a moment where Fern's actress kind of just broke down crying because she was talking about how she became the Orange Ranger and she could finally join the Ranger Club with them. And that was a big moment for her. And she
Hmm.
just broke down at that moment in the panel. And I was like, oh my God, this is a real thing. They're
That's
not
all.
acting. This is all genuine for them.
Wow.
So no, these guys are amazing to me. I love that cast.
Yep.
One day I will meet Kai. He will come to a con and I will meet him. Dang it! He's the only one I have not met yet.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't
Me
see a
too.
lot of, yeah.
But yeah. So Nate, I think I already know your answer, and that's to meet Guy from Jetman.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course him. I mean, and then Saya from Ginga Man as well. Very happy to meet her. But on the Power Ranger side, there were definitely three people that I definitely wanted to meet, and I got to get photos with all three of those people. Definitely Anna Hutchinson. I mean, she's the goat yellow. We've made that very clear multiple times on the Toku Secrets podcast. Um, Sally Martin, she had never been to a con, but not only that, but I mean, I don't know if I'm in the minority on this or not, but even though even though I'm not crazy about Ninja Storm, Tori is one of my favorite Blue Rangers. Like I would to the point where she's probably just bordering on being in the GOAT conversation, and you kind of have a hard time deciding whether I like her or Madison better as like the better female Blue Ranger, but I still think Clary belongs in that top 10 conversation in the worst case scenario. So it was very great meeting her. And then of course, Dan Ewing, who, also getting to interview him was great because, I mean, I know that we're not really the biggest fans of RPM on here, but Dylan is the GOAT Black Ranger. I mean, we don't. Okay, Dan, it's not that we hate RPM, it's just that we don't love it. Like, we don't think this is the greatest thing ever, like most of the fan base does.
I don't
So,
know if it's the greatest, but I definitely think it's like a top 5 season. But you know what? If you don't, it's your opinion, But
yeah,
I always thought it was a different like concept, like
yeah,
and for given like all the crap that was going on behind the scenes, the fact that this even came out like decent is a miracle because I feel like this season was set up to fail.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I mean, for me, it's not that I dislike RPM. I definitely like it. In my opinion, I think there's just some other seasons that I like more than it.
yeah,
Um,
I like Lost Galaxy more. I like Time Force more. I like In Space more. But then once I start naming those, it's like there's not many after that that are like that much better. Like because RPM has a really cool story, and dude, if they gave us the real story they were supposed to give us before the director like got written off, it was going to be even better. So yeah,
oh yeah.
there are, but you know what? If you don't think it's that good, though, there are parts of it that like could have been so much better.
Oh
I
my
kind of feel
God.
that way with Operation Overdrive, like the way that was put together. Like it could have been so much better than what we got the final product of.
yeah,
Overdrive had the skeletons to be good, and every turn they made it obvious that they couldn't seal the deal on anything they did.
Yeah,
Um,
except for the Once a Ranger two-parter, that was good. I like that.
I do enjoy the Once the Ranger part for all the veterans that came back and just seeing
yeah,
them interact together. My
That
friend Javier, who's really big into con for like bringing the actors over from overseas, he's a huge fan of that special. And I was looking at his social media the other day. I don't remember which one, but he was posting all the autographs he got from the 4 Rangers that he could meet, autographing the once and always prints that he has, and just like talking about it and how he laments about how he wants to get Kira from Dino Thunder, but sees a anomaly to ever get at a con right now, given just personal stuff, I guess.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, definitely, I agree with that.
yeah,
Yeah, Time Force, In Space, those are like some of my top ones. Dino Thunder for me, dude, that was
Yeah.
fire to me. So
Great season.
yeah, so those are like my things that I love way more. I'm a JDF fanatic, so it is what it is.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, I mean, regardless of what I think about RPM, I mean, I do think that Dylan is the best Black Ranger of all time, so meeting him was definitely fun.
And honestly, one step further than that, Dan is an amazing human being, dude. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy. So I know in the panel that we posted on YouTube, he's, really funny and comedic. But if you go talk to him at his table, he's really down to earth and just really a very attentive guy. And he will talk to you until you stop talking. Like he won't be the one to say, "Okay, move along now." He'll keep engaging because he loves the fandom, I think, a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
so I mean, those are the kind of experiences I enjoy, is meeting the actors who want to be there.
yeah,
Because I've met some actors at the cons in the past. And if you're not buying anything, if you're just there to chit chat, they might kind of give you the body language of, okay, kid, move along now, kind of thing. But other Rangers, oh dude, they're hyped to be there.
Yeah.
Sasha Craig being one of them. She's such a sweetheart, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say Dan Ewing is definitely one of the other ones I would put in the list of like people who want to meet the fans and like, the money making part of it is just kind of, I mean, not to say that it's not an important thing for him because I'm sure that it is, but he tries not to put it first and foremost like some of these other actors.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And not only that, but just from a personal perspective, meeting him was also great because now having met him, I can officially say that I've met at least one actor from every single Power Ranger season. So, um, from a selfish standpoint, that was pretty cool.
I was thinking about that last night, Nate, trying to see if I can say the same thing. And for a little while, I was like, I can't because Lost Galaxy. But then I remembered Amy Roll, so I can say it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it'll be cool when you can eventually meet one of the Rangers, but
Meh, 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 meh.
I know.
But speaking of Amy, that's a really good segue for Dan and I to kind of talk about another aspect that Nate you were not able to make it to because you're a married man and you had to hang with your wife at some point as well. But
Yep.
I want to take a moment to brag on my really good friend Kevin and the Morphin Time Fitness group because those guys, I've been following their journey and their group for since I started going to Rangerstop Atlanta 3 years ago. And I have had my own personal fitness journey of my own personally, just trying to lose weight, get in shape, and all that. And I've, through just sheer will and determination, I've been able to lose about 80 pounds of my own weight in that entire journey. And it's always been so heartwarming for me to see Kevin, to see Ass, to see their entire crew at these different cons, doing the flexing, doing the meetups and all that stuff. And it did my heart so well on the Friday morning of the con that the first Ranger Stop event we had was the Ranger Fun Run 5K that they organized in the parking lot of the Doubletree or hotel because it's just a testament to how much that group has grown. And I'm just so proud of my friends for putting it on and not just putting it on and getting like, a couple of people to come out and run. They got actors to come out and run. They got Anne Hutchinson, they got Amy Roll, Michael Gatto, um, James Davies was there, Dinah Sarge Black. So they had actors come out and run, and they had at least 30 people by my count doing the laps and putting in the sweat and the time to do this just to promote fitness and health and all that good stuff. And I'm really excited that they chose Orlando to begin this with, and I'm so proud of them for that. And I want to see where they go from here because I think they can go so big. They're going to make such a big difference in helping fans get in touch with a side of the stuff that we may not put a lot of emphasis on, like health and fitness and exercise and all the stuff that maybe it's a lot harder, but they provide a support group that means so much to me as a person to see them emphasize and promote it and do all this stuff. So I just want to take a moment to shout out all those people for all the amazing stuff they've been doing. I know Dan and I were out there filming the content, just filming the laps and just talking to them and all that. But dude, that group was such a great way to start the con off, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. Kevin and the team had a real good turnout. It was nice, and it was cool because, like, once I got into the actual con, I saw Anna, and she gave me an interview right away because I already like broke that barrier down because we were at the same thing, and she like came up to me and said, "Thanks for filming that, and thanks for being there," and then we got an interview going. So like, it was a nice thing to go check out that led into the next thing. So it was cool. And I'm proud of them for putting this on because I think they can learn how to make it even better and then take it to the next one.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they're going to have a lot of really cool events coming in the future. I think I've heard that they might be doing this again at the GoGo Station Con in Philly. I'm blanking on the official name of the con, but I think they're going to carry this on to other cons and do the same thing there. And I'm excited to just go watch them and film it and support them the best way I can in their endeavors going.
Yeah, speaking with the main guy, his name escapes me at the moment. What was his name again, Riz?
Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, he was pretty friendly too when we stopped by his booth. Like, he was talking to me a little bit, so I really liked him too for what little I was able to interact with him.
Yeah, so I normally stay around at the con late at night, and that's when I get to really meet like these people. So I've gotten to really bond with like Kevin and Ass and the entire group over the last couple of cons now, and
Hmm.
just a pure, pure group of people. They have this really pure idea of let's work out together, let's get Ranger fit to put on that spandex to get Ranger ready, or whatever the motivation might be. I think they do a fantastic job of all that.
Yeah, it's definitely something I should probably start to follow too. I am trying to take, more care of my health. I'm actually literally about to start this new thing where I'm getting up at 5 in the morning to go to the gym before I go to work now. So I should probably try to
Yeah,
follow that a
let's
little bit.
go. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, because I hear everybody in like my office has a habit of doing that. So I'm just thinking about trying to, probably not every day, but I'm still probably going to start experimenting with that this next month.
Yeah. Um, so I guess kind of shifting gears a little bit. We've been talking a lot of really good stuff on the Orlando con. Was there anything you guys saw that you think the staff could have done better or done differently in a way that might have been better for the con in general?
Hmm. Honestly, a lot of stuff was good. Like, it was my first con here, so I don't have much to kind of base it off of, like last con or whatever. But like, the flow was pretty good. Yeah, everything was kind of like it was spanned out a little bit, but that's to be expected. Honestly, for a con like this, I didn't see any major issues. So maybe you guys can give me some ideas or give me your opinion. But like, I didn't see anything that was too make or break. Even like the event hall, it was big enough. Like I didn't expect this to be some giant con, but at the same time, it wasn't super little either.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't really have anything like, man, they really got to work on this for next year. I think the thing that might have made a bit more sense for me was just kind of general layout, like maybe organizing the dealers a bit more to have like more things that are related closer together. Like maybe put all the toys in one alley or something, and maybe like put all the cosplay kind of props and stuff in one kind of area. So
Yeah.
that way, if you're like on the hunt for something, like if you're looking for that toy, if you're looking for that prop, okay, here's the toy alley, here's the prop area where you can find like your cosplay goods. So that way you're not like hitting that FOMO at the end where, oh man, if only I knew that booth was there in this one little part and they had the thing I was looking for. That would have made my weekend.
Yeah.
Because I did know a friend, I'm not going to name names here, but I know a friend who was lamenting after, like, man, I just now realized that they had this booth that had this thing that I could have bought. But because it wasn't near the other thing that was similar to it, I missed it.
Yeah.
So maybe that could be just something I think would be cool to maybe incorporate more of in the future. But beyond that, I mean, I agree with you, Dan. I think this con was really good. I had no real complaints about it.
Yeah, yeah, I can't think of anything else. I know this is just a minor thing, just to nitpick, but I mean that's what we're here for. I did appreciate how in Georgia, like they had those water cooler dispensers in both like the main room and in the panel room. Whilst in Orlando, they just had them in the panel room, but that's hardly anything to just throw a hissy fit about. So
That's
yeah,
the hotel more than anything.
yeah. So yeah, that this one was that you could definitely tell that Rangerstop Orlando has been around quite a bit for just how well organized it is.
Yeah. And I will take a moment here to give a special thanks to Mikey Buoni, who is the originator and founder of Rangerstop Orlando and was an integral part of Atlanta up until this year when Brooke took over. He just stepped down this year from running Orlando. He stepped down earlier this year from running Atlanta when he sold it off to Brett along with Karen and Nakia. Um, so I do want to thank him for creating this new family of cons with Orlando and Atlanta because it gave another avenue for us to get together and celebrate our fandom outside of having to go to Morphicon in California,
Yep,
which I've never been to. I've never been to Morphicon. At some point, I would like to go just to see it, but I think I've been able to see a lot of what Morphicon will be like through these cons, and that's because of Mikey having this idea, 10 years ago and saying, hey, I'm going to make a con on the East Coast to help the East Coast fans out to meet the people that they want to meet. And, he might be stepping down, but I know he's still going to be in the community. He's still going to be doing his thing with the con, maybe in a different role or whatever. But Mikey, if you're ever listening to this, just want to say thank you to you once again for
yep,
all you've done for the community, putting this con on.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
Thank you, Mikey.
yeah. So I think I've run through all the things that were big for me to kind of talk through about the con. I don't know, Nate or Dan, if you guys have any other topics or things of interest you want to talk through. But floor is y'all to, bring up anything else.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. This was a lot of fun. Like, I can't believe we've been on over an hour, like just talking Power Rangers and stuff. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think we covered everything on my end that I could think of. It was just a weekend that validated everything that I've been working on and kind of been down here just putting the work in. It kind of like it was validation on all the hard work we are putting in down here. So it was a good time and got to meet some really cool people too.
Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, so I guess we'll start wrapping up here.
Yeah. That was one other thing I want to say.
I'll go for it.
Uh, there is now, I guess I could say, kind of like a string of cons where Sean C.W. Johnson has been at that just reminds me how amazing of a guy this is. I mean, first there was the one where I met him in 2016, and that was just cool because I met him for the first time I got to interview him. Then 2 years later, in 2018, I go and see and I meet him, and I go meet him with my friend, and he looks at me and says, "You look familiar. Have I seen you?" And so the fact that he remembered me, that was pretty awesome. And then I see him this year again, in Atlanta. We had a pretty nice conversation of him today. And then, this time in Orlando, uh, just to continue the string, we run into him in the front of the hotel. Riz was there, and he asked if like we were coming, and I'm like, no, my wife and I are driving back. And then he's like, oh, is that your wife? I gotta go and meet her. And then he walks up and he begins to meet my wife. And my wife was genuinely taken by surprise. But yeah, I swear, like, I keep saying this, like, Sean C.W. Johnson is like if Mr. Rogers was reincarnated as a Power Ranger actor. Like, he's just that amazing of a person. So that was probably my best experience. Because even my wife was blown away at um how nice he was. So that definitely made the con good. That was a good way for me to wrap up that con.
Yeah, San is an amazing human being. I had the immense pleasure and honor of moderating a panel focused on just him back in September at the Kaiju Matsuri, and it was a really fun, like hour-long panel. Just the two of us up there talking about Rangers, talking about his career, and he's such a wholesome, down-to-earth, really just good guy. So yeah, I definitely can echo that back, Nate.
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't want to. I mean, that was the only thing I want to say. I mean, I feel like it's now going to be an obligatory thing where I just talk about how great Sean Z.W. Johnson is whenever we do one of these post-con things.
I mean, San will appreciate it because he loves, all the good praise and stuff too. So it works
Yeah,
out.
totally.
Um, but yeah, I guess my closing thoughts would be Orlando is a great time. I decided to go to Orlando on the whim of I didn't want to wait for the next Atlanta
Yeah,
because I had such a great time at Atlanta this year as well. And I was like, well, if I want to relive this and have it happen again, I got to go to Orlando. So I began planning to go to Orlando like a month after Atlanta ended. And I was like, okay, plane ticket, hotel, spending money, and that was a very difficult thing to figure out and do all the logistics for with the state of the world the way it has been the last 2 months now. But I'm just blessed and happy that I was able to make it out there. I was able to see
yeah,
all my friends. I made new friends. I mean, Dan, you've been an absolute joy to hang out with, and I'm really glad we really get you on here. I'm looking forward just to hanging out with you again at Atlanta. I'm manifesting you're going to be at Atlanta and Orlando, and we're going to keep running into you and stuff.
yeah.
I'm
So
gonna have to work on making appearances, bro, for real.
you got to do it, man, because it ain't a con without Dan the man there to party alongside me now.
Hmm.
That was fun. We was working hard, but we was partying even harder, bud.
Bro, we were up late and we just kept going.
Yeah,
So just want to take a second to thank you, Dan, for all the time you put in with us at the con and being on this podcast and just being a really fun part of the con and just, capping off what was already a great con by making it even better.
yep,
And thank you guys. It was awesome. Good
Yeah.
memories.
But stay tuned for those of y'all back home. Toku Secrets. We'll be picking up next week with some of our fan productions. We got Dragonheart from the Megaforce Story podcast coming out. We got the Zenith Beast Hunters episode 1 review coming out. We have Kamen Rider Zets. We got Ghost User news galore. So, look, we got a lot of stuff coming out over the next couple of weeks. And then Nate and I have been planning out what 2026 will look like for the podcast.
yep.
So y'all stay tuned. We got a lot of great stuff coming. Really happy to be able to close out the year in such a great positive way. I know the year's not over yet, but a lot of our content for the year is already wrapped up. It is not posted yet. So
Yeah.
I just want to say thanks to our audience for all the great times this year, and we're looking forward to 2026 to make it even better. But until next time, thanks for everything, and bye for now.
If you enjoyed listening to the Toku Secrets Podcast, please check us out at animesecrets.org and follow us on all our social media pages such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And also feel free to check out our other podcasts, including Anime Declassified and the Jedi Squadron. You can also leave us any feedback you'd like to offer us directly on our website. If you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, we thank you so much, and please leave us a rating out of 5 stars. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed, and leave any comments down below, as we love to take the time to read comments left on our channel and give our fans, shout-outs. If you have any seasons of Super Sentai, Power Rangers, or other Tokusatsu shows that you'd like for us to check out, please don't hesitate to say so in your feedback. With all that said, we thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our podcast, and we will see you next time as we continue our never-ending journey through the world of Tokusatsu. But until that time, you all stay safe, we love you, and may the power protect you.